Hey everybody, welcome to the SOBs who love SOV. So we did do an episode last week, but it did not work out. So this is officially our first episode with our entire cast, but it really isn't. So this week, I am joined by both of my co-hosts, Slade Shepard.
Hello. I blame Satan for the problems we had last week.
Might have been. And Tony Masiello.
Hi.
So what Slade is referring to is we did do a Hail Satan episode, which maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but we did Satan Place and Satan's Storybook. And we had a lot of fun. And then when I went to edit it, there were so many problems, it was unsalvageable. So we used that as a learning experience. And we're back this week to talk about the Christmas film theaters too. So, it's been a while. All three of us have not been on the air technically together. We do at least now have an inside joke.
S.O.V.
What? Yeah, just watch those movies. You'll know what we're talking about. We're going to make t-shirts that say Sophie on them. But, so we decided to come up with a little structure, guys. So we are going to start with SOV news. Now you're thinking, SOV news. When was the last time anything happened in SOV? And you know what? Happens all the time. And so we are going to start with Tony, because Tony runs SOVhorror.com. And he has actually been restoring several lost SOV movies. We talked about this last week, but whatever. And several have come out this year. So, Tony, tell us about what your company does and what you have for these fine folks to purchase.
Oh, well, yeah. So we pretty much find lost SOVs and try to put them out. My thought is I just want to put out movies that I like. You know, I'm a huge SOV fan, and so that's what we're all about. And our most recent release, it just came out yesterday, actually, or a few days ago now for most people probably, is a film by a director named Ramelli, who is a burlesque dancer, San Diego, California. And she made this film in the early 2000s called Purveyors of Blood, and is absolutely, completely sick and twisted, and I actually played a small role in the movie. And
Ooh, I did
so
not know that.
Yes, I play, actually you'll like my role. I play a sadomasochistic hillbilly named Joey.
Oh.
And it was fun. It was fun, you know, and when we got this company going, and, you know, we've released some movies now, and I remembered Remley's movie, and she never released it. She never really finished it, so we did a new edit on it, and got it looking nice. Threw a ton of DVD special features. There's burlesque dances on there. Zombarella's actually first appearance ever. She did a thing for us called Attack of the Ghoul Girls, which her and Remley are both in, and so that's on the DVD as well. So, yeah, so that just came out, and also we just announced recently we acquired the rights to Mr. Ice Cream Man, which is SOV from Mac Hale, 1995. One of my favorites. I absolutely love that movie, so I'm so excited about that release. And it's a whole new transfer. I did the transfer recently. It looks beautiful. It's the best this movie's ever looked. And we're going to have a ton of special features. It's going to be awesome. We aim to be the criterion for SOV movies, you know?
Yes. And you also came out with a movie fairly recently, Metal Noir. Which was another lost one, and I believe, well,
that was the first.
We are going to be talking about that when we come back after the holiday break. But, you know, it'll be a couple weeks. But we have some plans for maybe some guests who don't know that they're going to be guests yet. But I did listen to Doug and Mo's No Budget Nightmares show on that, and was incredibly intrigued and bought the movie, and I know Slade has it too, and pretty stoked to talk about this one.
Yeah. When I re-edited the movie, so I know the movie frame by frame. Oh no, I love the movie. I absolutely love the movie. And the artwork slate, that's done by artist Jason Gilmore, and he does all of our covers. So he's done all of the cover arts. You know, I try to put really cool old school illustrated artwork on the covers because that's what I like, you know, opposed
Yeah.
to Photoshop images.
Yeah.
I really dig it on. I really dig the artwork itself, but I also dig the uniformity of like the of your releases with
Right.
that too.
Oh, yes.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. I like that. You guys are missing out if
Yeah,
you haven't picked up any releases.
Yeah. SOVhorror.com.
.com.
So yeah, exciting stuff. So when should we expect Mr. Ice Cream Man? Because you've been cranking these out like fairly quickly ever since you started.
Oh, very fast. We've put out 4 movies in the last 6 months. So
There you go.
And all 4 of those movies have, you know, were never released before. Lost movies, with the exception of the movie we made with Tim Ritter. So, you know, very cool. But next year we're going to slow down a bit. Mr. Ice Cream Man's going to take a while because we want to get all the extras we can on this disc. So, you know, it's going to take a little while to get all the extras going. But we want to make sure we put out an awesome release of this one. So
I'm going to make a promise that Tony may or may not be able to keep. But if any of you have any ideas for lost SOV movies that you know of, drop a comment down here. Just so, I mean, he knows everything about SOV, but maybe there's a lost movie out there that he does not know about. And he gets silent.
We're always looking for stuff.
And he's like, "Shut up, Becca."
But at the same time, you know, I want to put out stuff that I really like. So you know, everything we've put out so far are all movies that I love. So, you know, I want to have, I don't want to just put out, you know, anything. You know, we try to put out good stuff. Wait till you guys see Metal Noir. I'm really excited to talk Metal Noir with you guys next time.
Yeah, don't send him you and your friends getting drunk in the backyard with Halloween masks and
Yeah.
You know, I'll watch that
passing
though.
off
If
as
you
a
want to
man.
send
I
that
will
to me, I will
too,
watch
though.
it. So
But see, that's the thing.
I will watch it.
If it's
I'll-
lost, you don't
We'll
know if
watch it.
somebody doesn't give it to you. So, I mean, we could get some interesting things here.
You know, any art deserves eyes,
Right.
You know? And I am all for supporting people's art. So
Right. And then also, so I'm just going to plug this. This is something that Slade sent us. It is a shot on video. It's a shot on video tribute to the home video craze. And it is called what? Barbecue Backyard Death Squad from Hell? Is that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's
Look that up. It's
fantastic.
from Penn and Teller.
Oh, that was great.
And it's very short, but it is.
And Lydia Lunch.
Oh, it's so awesome about it. It's a love letter to, or maybe it's sarcastic. I don't know. I took it as a love letter to a lot of the movies that came out in that point in time where you could tell that what was being shot was not necessarily what was on the script and what got to your screen.
They spliced it together as best as possible. Kind of like the Spookies. Oh God, have you guys seen Spookies? That movie's fantastic.
Yes, I have.
I want the Vinegar Syndrome release so bad.
This is another
You know,
segment we have now. Slade's Christmas wish list.
That is a long fucking list. And it's all movies. So
Okay, we do have one other SOV thing in the news. So Phil Herman, legendary SOV director, he actually has a production company called Avail now, and they've been putting out some movies. Now, these are not shot on video movies, but hey, it's relevant. So I just got...
Well, and Phil's from those days. Phil did some great old SOV films.
Right. I mean, we know a lot of these guys. Tim Ritter's still making films. Ron Bonk's still making films. Just because they're not shot on video doesn't mean we can't include them in their newest work.
For sure.
In our shot and video news. So I got a screener for a movie called The Butcher, and I am going to ironically butcher this name. Written, directed, edited, financed, starring Michael Moustastos. Probably got that wrong. Great movie. if you are into 70s, 80s, like gritty slashers, especially kind of like those Italian giallos that tried to be American kind of thing. I'm thinking like New York Ripper, and then also like Maniac. He really does remind me a lot of Joe Spinell in this movie. It's very gritty, very gory. It's about a guy who has mad cow disease and is also a high-class chef and decides to start infecting people in his restaurant by injecting his blood into the meat of these high-class restaurants in California. So it was a really awesome, I really enjoyed it. I just reviewed it for Pop Horror. He also sent me and Tony screeners for Morbid Stories, which maybe we'll do as well. But they do have a channel, Avail TV. It's going to be on, or it is on Roku and Apple, I believe. And they will be putting out all of their movies. And I will say another little plug for a friend, Jason Buterin. I probably said his name wrong too, even though I know him personally. He is putting out a movie called Kill Giggles at the beginning of next year that will also be on this label, on Phil's production company. So they're starting to put out some pretty awesome stuff there.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff about that, and yeah, it looks like he's getting some cool stuff. So I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, first you go to SOVhorror.com and you buy stuff there, but then you go check out Avail.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, first.
So, all right. So, what we are going to be talking about today is Feeders 2, which is a Polonia Brothers
Sleigh Bells.
Oh yes, I cannot forget. There is a tagline or a subtitle that's Sleigh Bells. This is a Polonia Brothers production, which is always the hallmark of awesomeness. This is from 1998. Now, Tony has a little bit of, not even trivia, but he has a little bit of insider knowledge on this movie that we did not know about.
Oh, so, I work for Riff Tracks, and, I'm a huge Polonia Brothers fan, and I saw this come in on a list, and I told the guys, you guys have to do these movies. Please do these movies.
These movies, kid.
These movies.
And they did them, and I had to keep my mouth shut. I couldn't say anything, and I'm so excited that they did both these films. I really hope that it kind of brings them to a new audience and that more people can see the Polonia Brothers work. I love the Feeders movies.
And if you don't know what Riff Tracks is, it's actually a company that's kind of an offshoot of Mystery Science Theater 3000. As I was reminded earlier, this sci-fi year. So Mike Nelson, who else did you say?
Kevin Murphy, Bill Corbett.
Yeah, and so they have a lot of they have like web series. They also do a lot of those Fathom events too. I've noticed.
Yeah,
I've never gone
we usually
to one.
do. Oh, you got to go! They're so great.
I know.
We do them 2 to 3 times a year, and it's really cool. But yeah, and we've done some shot on video movies, so I'm hoping we can do more shot on video movies down the line. They also did a Roller Gator for anyone who knows that one. That episode
heard
is
of
hilarious,
it,
so.
but I need to see it like right now. We may
actually
have
you do need to see it.
Might have to stop this podcast right now.
It is exactly what you think it is.
Oh.
Roller Gator. It's got Joe Estevez and Conrad Brooks in it. Come on.
Wow. Okay, so wait, now, I'm just going to ask this. Do the Gators wear 4 skates or 2?
Well, the Gator actually is more in a backpack. Everyone else is roller skating. It's what's his name? The guy who made Rollerblade Warriors, Donald G. Jackson, the guy who did Hell Comes to Frogtown?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I'm forgetting his name, but he always has the roller skating in his movies, like Rollerblade Warriors and Rollerblade. And so everything's got to be roller, I guess, with his movies.
Man. Okay, I'm a little, the wind is taken out of my sails a little because I was envisioning alligators with 4 skates on. But
That's what I was hoping for, but now I'm disappointed.
Well, actually, there is a scene though where the alligators. Yeah, you got to see the movie. He's like in a baby carriage.
we've got to see it.
Yeah, you got to see it. There's ninjas in it. There's there's all types of crazy stuff in that film.
Well, of course there are ninjas. God, what kind of movie would it be without? So, okay, I'm just gonna...
Is there a band that fights them?
Oh, oh, Miami Connection. Dragon Sound.
Friends forever. Hey, that's a great riff tracks too.
Eternity.
Oh, God. And
Loyalty, honesty.
hey, and it doesn't need a riff tracks.
Thick or thin.
If you guys have
No,
not
it really
seen this
doesn't.
movie,
Oh my god! But the guys do a great riff tracks of that.
Oh my
That's
god,
I
so
love that
good,
episode.
so good. And actually, that was a gift. I have that because it was a gift from Slade Shepherd. Because
Oh, nice.
You
Because
needed to watch that movie.
Yes, because I got him on an interview that we did with Todd Sheets. So full circle right here, kids. That was pretty much,
Nice.
I think, the birth of SOBs who love SOV, don't you think? Where we interviewed
much.
Todd and Amanda
Yeah.
Payton. Awesome. Okay, so
Yep.
here's
Nice.
So here's another story. This is news from SOV. If anybody has any ideas on this, so Sheila Brandon Allen and Douglas Epps, who have been in many, many of Todd's movies, including Clownado, which recently came out, they recently bought a house. Have you guys seen this online?
Yes,
No.
I have.
So Sheila messaged me yesterday and said, I have walls that are bleeding. And I was like, what the fuck, girl? So she sends me these pictures. They have this area in their house, and it is a very large area it was fine. It was white. And then they came home from work like yesterday, and it like was red, or 2 days ago. It was red. It looks like blood. It looks like the wall's bleeding. Okay, there's no way around it. She cleans it all up. Totally white again. They come home from work the next day. It is back, and it is darker, and it has the texture of blood. And they let it sit, because then they're calling the realtor or whatever, and it starts drying up like a scab. If you see the pictures of this, it is fucking bizarre. And it is not dripping from the ceiling. It is in a complete random spot. Their walls are fucking bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
It is weird. Yeah. So Todd and Amanda are actually paranormal researchers as well, and so I think they might be stepping in if the realtor can't help them out.
Can you ask for a refund on a house like that? Can you get out of the mortgage if they fuck with you and sell you a haunted place?
Now, I will say this. This is not haunted, but my sister moved into a house that was basically like an inverted walkout basement. So, like, the whole back wall of their house was like a basement wall. And it flooded very early into when they had it. And they took off all, like, the paneling and stuff that was there and found out that the wall had just been leaking and leaking and leaking. These people just put paneling and this nice wood flooring over it, and they actually took them to court, and because they hadn't disclosed what the issue was, they had to pay for the wall to be replaced and everything. Now, I don't know if you could take people to court to be like, so you didn't tell us this house was haunted and the walls were bleeding. I don't know what the repercussions there are, but yes, the realtor has been engaged in this situation.
I don't know. Imagine what kind of lawyer would take that case on, but yeah.
I don't know. I've been messaging her like every 2 hours just to be like, you still okay? You still okay? And like,
you still there?
Yeah. The picture of the Amityville Horror where it just says like in big bold letters, for God's sakes, get out.
Hopefully they find a resolution here soon.
It is bizarre.
That really
Tony,
sucks.
I'm going to send you these pictures. They are
Okay.
fucking disturbing. But anyway, all right, so there's more SOV news. If anybody knows why walls would be bleeding, and I have looked at these pictures over and over trying to figure out, it's not coming from the ceiling, it's not coming from the floor, it's not coming from the corner. If she cleans it, it's totally like white again. Like it's like where it's seeping from and everything is just fucking bizarre. All right. So let's talk about feeders too, everybody.
Sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells. That's right. Which I don't.
Sleigh bells.
I will honestly say I don't really know why they added that on, but it's okay. I mean,
it fits.
It's fun.
I mean, it's a Christmas movie, so
it's a Christmas movie.
They're trying to tell you this is a Christmas movie.
So, again, just going back to this. So this was a Polonia Brothers movie. And in this one, it is actually featuring as an actor. The main actor is Mark Polonia. Now, I have never seen Feeders. Apparently, John was the main guy in that. John McBride and John Polonia were the main guys in that. This movie only clocks in at 1 hour and 12 minutes. And I can honestly say that I felt like I watched Feeders 1 and 2 all together. Probably 20 of those minutes is basically just Feeders 1 recapped.
Oh yeah.
I wish they'd taken and like actually included the original ending of Feeders where it's the apocalypse basically.
Oh, gosh. Yep.
It's what he's running through the fog and
Great
everything.
scene.
And I love the ending to that. Like it was just it was great. And
it's that invasion of the body snatchers ending, you know.
Yeah, with just all the little guys, and you don't really get that sense of why they're there in the second one as much, despite the John's rant at the start.
And in the middle.
In the middle, yes.
Well, the middle's the longer one, yeah.
Right, because here's the thing, folks. It like starts out with like a 5-minute. It's a sequel recap. We've got John is like in an insane asylum or a prison or something.
Right.
He's ranting about the aliens, and then they show clips from the other movie for like 5 minutes. It's like, okay, that's totally legit, totally expected. But it's like in the middle of the movie, they go back to him, and then he rants and talks about the movie for like 15 minutes more. I didn't get it.
Well, this movie, and I mean, as we'll talk about it, it is padding palooza. It's full of padding.
Yes, I'm gonna say I love this movie. So if I say anything that sounds bad, I'm just gonna front load it with I love this movie. But go ahead. Padding palooza.
Well, you got all the scenes from Nightcrawlers. There's a bunch of scenes from that film in this, and then the 15 minutes of Feeders in it. But the thing is like, I love it too. It's such a great movie, and I don't mind the padding. That's the thing, is I don't mind the padding. I notice it because I know I know Nightcrawlers and no Feeders, but yeah.
No, I had no problem with it. It was more charming than anything.
That's what I was about to say. The padding was fun, and there's just something about the Polonia Brothers films. They've got this like underlying wholesomeness to it, like just you feel like you're watching somebody's family videos, and then all of a sudden somebody dies and gets their neck fucked, and then it's
but it's okay,
or gets their guts ripped open, or it's all okay because it's like it's so much. There's so much fun because of that. It's just it's kind of goofy, but not in like a negative sense. It's just fun to watch. I really enjoy their films a lot.
So I'm going to piggyback off of, so Tony actually did this for SOV and beers. And I watched it after I watched the movie. And I was kind of wondering about a few things, and Tony, you actually confirmed some things for me, that the family in this, so we have a dad and a mom. The dad is Mark Polonia, but a dad, a mom, and a brother and a sister, and they are actually the Polonias, their family.
Yeah, that is Mark's family. Yep.
And you could tell. So I'm just going to say this is the only feel-good part of this that I'm going to give anybody. There's a point where the kids are looking outside. They're watching for Santa. And they first get to the window. And the little boy, he just kisses his older sister. Right, kind of like on just her forearm. Like when they're getting ready to watch Santa. And I was like, oh, holy hell. I'm like, I'm like, I've got to figure out, like, I knew she was Apollonia. I didn't know about him. I'm like, those kids are so related. It was the sweetest thing. Like, the parents probably have to, like, play that back every Christmas for these adults now.
Well, I just friended Anthony Polonia, the son in this movie, recently on Facebook, and I asked him, do you guys ever go back and watch Feeders too? And he said no, they don't, and they actually had a bunch of the video boxes. They had a bunch of the video boxes that they used into new sets for miniatures. So I told him that they should. I'm hoping they watch it this year because that's the thing that's so great about this movie is the sense of family. Yeah, I mean you really do feel it while you watch this movie, and I feel that's an element you don't get in other Christmas horror films. Is the whole family element, and I mean, that's why I love this movie so much. It's like you're spending Christmas with the Polonias,
Right, because so many of those movies they rely on, okay, we have 4 people in the house and we've got Christmas decorations. They're a family, let's go. But yeah, this really sets it up. And the scene where the kids are playing around and they're wrapping each other up. She sticks the boy in the box and they're wrapping each other up. Oh my God, you can tell they just were like, okay, kids, here you go. Go to town.
Oh, it's so fun.
And it's so natural and so cute. Yes, I hope they watch that.
Oh, the dog with the little bandage wrapped around its leg. I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, oh, so far it's been kind of tame and wholesome and stuff. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess the
Slade.
dog actually did get hit by a car. So yes, the family dog is wearing a cast during the film.
See, that's what I was gonna say. That looked like a real cast, but yes, I was with you.
It was, yes.
I was like, you're gonna kill the fucking dog. You people are gonna kill the fucking dog.
The dog was so cute too. God. Oh.
What I find
well, we
weird...
got to talk about the Feeders puppets. We got to talk about the Feeders. We haven't really talked about them.
So I just had to break in with the family stuff. But if we go back to the movie, yes, the beginning of the movie, and we go through the recap, we've got the Feeders puppets. What are your guys' take on that? Because I have very specific words on my notes.
Well, they have one feeder puppet from the first film, so I guess only one feeder puppet survived, and then they made a couple new feeders puppets, which to me kind of works with the Christmas thing because their heads do look like ornaments. They do look like circular balls. They're very cheap looking, and I remember the first time I saw this movie, I just couldn't believe the new feeders. I was like, wow, look at these. Like, they're really just trying with this one. But the more I watch it, I love the new feeders. I think the new feeders look great. That's my take on them.
Oh, they're hilarious. And just like just the whole concept that these little things are taking over the world is fucking great.
Mini aliens with chopstick hands.
Yeah, and why don't they carry weapons? I mean, they're supposedly
well, they can't. Their arms are literally made out of chopsticks. That's what they made their arms out of. So if you haven't seen the Feeders movies, people, they're very small aliens. They're very tiny, and their arms and legs are made out of chopsticks. So but
they don't need weapons because they glow, and then shit happens. Okay, Slade, that is their weapon. Their weapon's built in. But
they magically teleport
when they feed. They
teleport when they feed.
So the words I have on here is, oh my God, this is terrible. Mr. Bill in blackface. Totally. Oh. Every time they'd show their faces up close, I was like, oh Jesus Christ. Oh no.
What's up with their voice, like the voices with them, and I can just see Mark hunched over a microphone, like destroying his vocal cords, going right.
Oh my God. You got it, but they use the same voice from the first movie, and I love that voice. It's if you hear that voice, Feeders are around.
It's like the Jaws theme, right?
Exactly.
like that childlike like Gremlins chitter when they get like into mischief or
yeah. And actually, I made that correlation a few times. There were a few times that they were very Gremlin-like. How they would just be like,
oh, for sure.
Okay, that was not a good impression.
Well, and this one plays them more for comedy, where the first Feeders movie, you know, they are a threat. They are not.
Yeah.
They're not silly at all. Where Feeders 2, they're silly. You know, they lighten the mood in the sequel.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate as a Christmas movie too, because you know, like taking and yeah, you know, they might get a little bit backlash if little Timmy took and grabbed the this Christmas themed horror film and it's full of gore. What was this rated anyway? Because outside of a few
rated R, according to
really?
IMDb.
If it was even officially rated, I question if it was rated.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
because but
maybe they had to get it rated.
Actually,
well, because Feeders 1 too, that was you know, that was a huge hit. I mean, that was I mean, we can't not talk about that. That was probably one of the, in a sense, the best distributed SOV movies ever. I mean, it got a big contract through Blockbuster. It was in just about every Blockbuster video, and you know, I know personally that was my introduction to the Polonias, was renting that from Blockbuster Video and just being like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I'll be honest, the first time I saw Feeders, I did not like it at all. I didn't. I thought it was horrible. I was like, what is this horrible film? But, you know, I gave it another chance like I do with movies, and I fell in love with it the second time. It clicked the second time, you know?
What were the budgets on these? Like, 2 was what, $500?
I think that's what he said, is they spent about $500. I'm guessing 2 actually cost less than that. It probably cost them tape stock. I mean, they literally filmed part of their Christmas is in this film. They literally filmed part of their Christmas. The story behind it actually is pretty funny, is I guess they came up with the idea during Thanksgiving. They were literally having Thanksgiving and was like, Feeders 2 should take place during Christmas, and that Christmas they shot Feeders 2. You know? And John McBride was really scared, you know, he didn't want them to do, you know, the Santa stuff that we have to get to, but ultimately he gave it his blessing, because he's the co-director on the first Feeders film, John McBride. You know, it is a collaboration between the Polonias and McBride, and
yeah, it's got his name on it attached, and of course, if you got a property with your name attached, you're going to want to have some kind of creative input with it.
So we just realized we have not gone over the plot of this film. So, Tony, what is the plot of this film?
So, okay. Pretty much disregard that the Feeders have destroyed everything at the end of Feeders 1. John McBride has survived. He's in this mental ward or something, kind of giving his recountment of what happened. And then the Feeders come back. It's I think it's Christmas Eve, right? They do show the date. I think it's Christmas Eve. The Feeders come back.
Yeah.
And they zap some Feeders down, and a couple of them run into the basement of this guy Alan and his family, which is Mark Polonia and his real family. And so these Feeders are trapped in his basement until they can kind of come out during Christmas Day. And all the while, the aliens are also beaming Feeders to other locations and killing people. But what's funny is all those scenes, that's the padding stuff. So all those scenes are from a movie called Nightcrawlers. So the scene of the lady with the cat, that is originally from a movie, and that's John McBride's mom. We should talk about that scene. That's a fun scene.
I figured that because it was like, yeah, her name was something McBride, and I saw that it was like elderly neighbor. So what about the paper mill guy? Was that also a reused thing? Because that made no sense. I had to rewind that like 3 times. Okay.
Well, and it's funny, because you see in that scene, you know, he's getting dragged from behind these boxes and he's spitting up blood, and you know, you go, wow, can the Feeders really do that? I don't think the Feeders would be able to do that. You know?
That's what was my thoughts with it. Because I was just like, how the fuck are they dragging this guy across the floor with their tiny little hands.
Little hands. Little
Hey,
chopstick
you get
arms.
enough of them together. They're powerful, okay? So, okay, not to skitter over that I have not seen Nightcrawlers, and my favorite part of The Lady with the Cat is that when the cat is in the basement and dies, it is,
Yes.
it is like, let's take a wad of freaking, like cat fur, dip it in blood, and we're gonna throw it on a box. So good.
Well, the shot of the
They
cat.
took a clip to the picture of the shot of the cat is just like a picture of the cat.
It's like a MS Paint kind
Oh,
of
God.
cutout, where the cat is goried up.
Yeah.
It's just it is just like a cutout picture of the cat.
Yeah.
It's done. I mean, am I
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah, well, I was like, I didn't even think a cutout picture. I thought it was almost like a stuffed animal where they took all the stuffing out and just kind of like threw it there or something. I was like, I don't know what the hell that is, but that ain't no cat.
No,
Where's my fluffy cat?
and that was the thing about the Polonias, where they were pretty much the first SOV guys to really jump on the computer graphics and really using the video toaster and all these early CGI type stuff, and that's one of those shots where obviously it's a composited shot, and you didn't see that a lot in SOV movies.
Yeah, it was composited of a lot of things.
Yeah, all the UFO shots and everything in this are really fun.
Yeah, I mean they used CGI really well for the time in general, but like the time low budget for sure. Like the CGI like UFO hovering over the house constantly. Yep. And like I thought it was great. It was ambitious. It's a word I use a lot for this kind of stuff, but ambitious is I think it's a good adjective.
And that just describes the Polonias. I mean, when the thing I love about the Polonia brothers so much is like they never let anything get in the way of making what they want to make. If they want to make, guys going to Mars on a spaceship, they're going to make spacesuits out of whatever they got to make it out of, They do what they got to do to make the film.
Resourcefulness.
I forget which one it is. What's it? My favorite Polonia Brothers scene, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you guys about this one, and I wish I could remember the movie.
Okay.
Is it's supposed to be a nude woman showering, and the close-up shots, you never see the woman, but you see some close-up shots of a leg and stuff, and it's obviously one of the brothers taking the shower. And to me, that's always shown how dedicated the Polonia brothers are, is that one of them, will do the fake nude stand-in scene to make it happen,
The smoke and
I
mirrors
copied that
kid.
in my early work,
Yeah.
I had a guy play a girl in a sex scene in Cannibal Vampire Call Girl Hookers from Outer Space, that was
No, that had to have
something
been
we did.
Was that no, I know what it was. It was Channel 13, wasn't it? Because I remember that and thinking it was a guy.
Well, no, they might have reused it in that. I think it was, is it The Dwelling, maybe? It's on one of those Brentwood 4-packs. I forget which one it is. It's before Channel 13. And they may have reused that footage. That's the thing about the Polonias, is they will reuse the hell out of footage. I just, I recently watched all the Camp Blood sequels and noticed footage from Night Thirst in there. Like they do that a lot. They reuse footage. Yep.
Again, resourcefulness. Like I feel like I grew up in a trailer park. I grew up in a very very frugal, silly putty and duct tape kind of environment, and I kind of like that resonates with me. If you already have it, just use it.
Redneck engineering.
Exactly. Okay, so let me ask one more question then. So we also have the whole situation with the priest. Was that reused?
Yeah, so that's also from Nightcrawlers. And I don't know if you guys recognized him. That's Todd Romani, a.k.a. Todd Smith, who's in Splatter Farm, Church of the Damned.
Oh!
All that real early Polonia Brothers stuff.
Yeah, I was like, why is this priest just sitting here reading his Bible on Christmas Eve? Shouldn't he be like doing like a mass or something? Like, I was so confused.
And he's a major character in Nightcrawlers, you know. He's a major character. There's a lot more with that character, but yeah, it's just used to pad out the film. I mean, really the only new stuff in this movie is the stuff with the family. I mean, that's pretty much all the new footage.
I love it. But, okay, so after that, this is, okay, another one of those I have written here in capital letters. Cute as shit. So, when the kids look out, they see one of those creatures. And, like, the boy's like, well, what is that?
It's an elf.
And, yeah, I think it's an elf. And she's just like, no, look up at the sky. We don't care about elves. We want to see Santa.
We want Santa.
Oh,
and those kids are gassy.
All the farts. Yep.
Oh my god.
That just came out of nowhere when I was like, did they just fart?
Yep.
Again, realism, kids, realism. And then I love, okay, so you're talking about like even reusing movies. Okay, so they're reusing old stuff. I love how then Alan, who is, the patriarch of the family, he's at work, which is obviously just like their, like, desk that's in the basement. You can see their boxes and stuff behind them. But then he flashes back to stuff in that movie. So now we have more padding that's used from the movie we're watching right now.
I thought you were going to talk about the boss interaction because that is fucking
and that too, yes, that's next.
The boss is great. And I forget that actor's name. He's in quite a few of their films. And that's the thing, you see a lot of the same people, in the Polonia Brothers movies. They use their family if they have to,
Well, that's... And see, that was one of the things that I didn't know, having not seen either of these movies. Like, there's the whole kind of body snatcher thing going on when they're talking about the original movie. And I kept thinking it was going to come back around that somehow Alan was a body snatched like version of his brother who died. It's but they never ever addressed that the guy in the first movie looks just like the guy in the second movie.
Just forget about that. It's all fine. Just have fun with this.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you could have trimmed your mustache a little more or something,
Oh, they can't do that. That's the trademark.
No, that is the trademark. That is true. So, okay. What's the deal with the ticking clock? Like, it's almost like the calling card for things that are bad that are going to happen. It happens in many of the scenes, and now that I know it's many of the scenes that are from different places, there's a very loud ticking clock. Did anybody else notice that?
Didn't really pick up on that.
No,
yeah, I'm wondering if it's just that whole, like, kind of, you sort of think about that on Christmas Eve, like the grandfather clock or whatever. Everything's silent, whatever. But yeah.
Creating anxiety with it.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. But yeah, like, okay, so the mom wraps all the presents, but she still has some in the basement. And then they go down to the basement to wrap the presents. Okay, first of all, who wraps presents on Christmas Eve? At least they didn't put up the tree on Christmas Eve. That is my pet peeve of Christmas movies. People who put up their tree on Christmas freaking Eve.
My dad wraps presents on the day after Christmas.
Does he shop on the day after Christmas? Because that actually would be brilliant.
He does, actually. He one year he got really, really trashed, and he forgot to go Christmas shopping, and he's like, shit. Next time, I'll get you something.
I've had this
my mom, she was pissed. Oh my God.
Okay, I've had this conversation though, like, so one of my friends and his kids were fairly young, but like probably out of the believing Santa age. And he like said to her, he's like, listen, how about if we just don't buy anything for Christmas? And then like 2 days after Christmas, we all just go shopping. Everybody's taken everything back. It's like the store is right back there. and you just go and you buy what you want. She's like, absolutely not. And I was like, that's a fucking ingenious idea, Jim. Seriously.
My wife and I celebrate Valentine's Day the day after Valentine's Day.
Oh well, yeah. But anyway, they find one of those feeders down there, and it just stops dead in its tracks and just plays dead perfectly. And they're like, do you know where this came from? Like, no, it must be one of the kids' ugly dolls.
Right.
No.
Well, it hits its head. The feeder runs in and it hits its head. It does like a Three Stooges type routine. And yeah, Mark finds the doll and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a montage and everything, yeah.
Their limbs must be incredibly brittle. Like, just be able to just snap them in two. Because they're so thin.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Well, they were literally made out of chopsticks. Like on the DVD, the original double feature DVD that Sub Rosa put out, that's cost too much money now. On that DVD, they talk about the puppets and stuff, and yeah, I guess the arms were literally made out of chopsticks. So that's how thin they are.
Great.
Bamboo is a very, very strong material if used the correct way. I'm just saying.
True.
Well, the feeders feed anyway, it's all about feeding. It's all those mouths,
Right.
Right,
and it's about glowing red and pissing people.
And glowing red.
So I think we're kind of here now to where here comes Santa.
Oh.
Oh.
Todd Carpenter. Yep.
Oh my God. So yeah, this is like the thing that like Christmas horror movies do not throw this at you very much, to where they take out that suspension of disbelief. Like, there's even a conversation between the parents. Like, so do you believe in Santa? Like, there's a little bit of that, like, do you really think, or whatever? But the whole idea of actually throwing Santa in there in a horrible way.
I just love that Santa is real in this universe. It's so fitting for a Poloni Brothers film.
Yeah.
And
but the adults, the adults acknowledge that yes, he may be real, but it's not that whole like, oh, he isn't real. Like, it's one or the other. Like, oh, well, Santa's totally real, or like, Santa's not real, they have to be proven wrong. And this one, it's like there's some doubt, like, maybe he is. I love that. But yes, he's real.
He is real.
And vulnerable.
Oh God, I love that. Like, even though he has all this trouble, like I don't recall him cursing at all or anything else like that. He still says wholesome Santa. He's like, those daggone aliens,
Right.
rats.
Yeah. Oh darn. Yes. Yeah. I have written here, no Santa, no, when the UFO came.
What happened to the reindeer? Did the feeders eat them?
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Like, because, okay, the kids see him fucked up. They go run to mom and dad and everything. And then, like, but dad, it doesn't take long. I will say, I appreciate it. Doesn't take long for dad to be like, oh, there is somebody out there, blah, blah. But then when he goes out there, yeah, it's just the sleigh and Santa. And Santa's like, they shot me down. And it's like, well, what about your fucking reindeer? Didn't you have 9 fucking reindeer, too, with you? Do you not fucking care about them at all?
I love
this is a Polonius brother. They can't afford
all
reindeer.
he had to do was say they shot us down.
I love that they have the shot before, and then immediately that when they take and cut back to Santa. We should mention that before, but like, he's flying through the air in his sleigh and he's all happy and everything, and then it cuts away and cuts back, and then all of a sudden the fucking sleigh is infested with these little bastards.
Yeah, it's like strangling him on his back, everything.
And the poor elf falls.
Oh, I did not.
And the elf is John Polonia. Actually, plays the elf.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
I did not catch that. I was too busy laughing.
It's hard to tell. They don't really show his face, I think I found that out on the special features.
Somebody break down this ending to me. So basically, it was all supposed to be a dream, or not, or what? Somebody
no.
just go there.
No, Santa takes out the aliens. He saves the day, and then there's a present under the tree for Mark, and so Mark opens. Well, he's gonna open it, and a feeder pops out. And that's just your generic. Hey, we might make a sequel, you know. And I wish they would have made sequels. I think it would have been great, you know. I'm still waiting for Feeders 3.
Yeah.
I was expecting for it just to I was expecting for it to end normally, just with a wholesome family Christmas, and then I could just be left wondering what the hell they're going to do when they unexpectedly run over the decomposing corpse of their dog.
I know. Okay, can we back up a little bit?
Just some kind of awkward shot to the family coming down the basement. Yay, Christmas! Oh no!
The kids run into lay down with mom and dad when they see Santa fucked up. And they're like all worried. They don't ever once say anything about, we need to go get the dog.
Yeah, they never inquire about the dog at all. The bastards.
No.
I'll be honest, I forgot about the dog by the end of the film. You know?
I didn't. Damn it.
That's funny though. Gosh, yeah. I mean, talk about the worst Christmas ever, you know, for those kids in the end, you know.
Santa killed my dog.
And ate him. At least part of him.
I guess maybe with that being said, they could have been like, well, maybe he went with Santa back up to the North Pole, kids.
To live forever.
On your aunt's farm.
Oh, God.
No, I did not let go of the dog thing. And I was actually like somewhat offended that the kids never inquired about the dog. So did you guys know there's actually a website? It's called Did the Dog Die? Have you heard of this?
I have.
DidTheDogDie.com.
Yes.
You can type in any movie, TV show, whatever, and it will tell you if the dog dies, if the dog doesn't die. And then, like, even there's that in between of, like, well, it's inferred that the dog died. Like Muffin in Friday the 13th.
Friday 4.
Like, it's inferred
and 4
that
as
the
well,
dog
yeah.
died. Yeah. So you can prepare yourself for this shit. But I'm saying the dog died in this.
Yeah.
Oh, the dog definitely died.
Yeah.
Somber note.
100%. Sad. But you know, it's I can deal with that. Like, I just don't like it when it's like done for. Well, I mean, shit. I can't even say that. It's fine. Like Zombievers.
I don't care as long as the dog doesn't die.
But you know, if you really think about this film, the only new death in the movie, if all the other deaths are padding scenes from Nightcrawlers, the only new death in the movie is the dog. That's it. I mean, or maybe the elf. I guess the elf too. The elf, but you know, that's it. It's a relatively small body count.
And some feeders.
You know.
That is true.
Yeah.
So we basically have like a body count of 1, and it is canine. Well, we have 2, canine and elven.
Kelvin and elf. Yeah.
I didn't take and check to see in the credits to see if the dog is credited as himself or herself. Or if that's actually the Polonia's dog. I would imagine it is.
No, yeah, it is. It is their dog. They tell Mark. It was Mark's family's dog, and he tells a story. I believe the daughter, who's the daughter in the movie, Courtney, like lets the dog off the leash or something, and the dog got hit by a car, and you know. But I guess some early reviews, he actually talks about this as well. He says in some early reviews, people accused him of breaking the dog's leg so it couldn't get out of the bad movie.
Oh my God.
And so they wanted to set the record straight. We did not break any dog's legs for the movie.
Yes.
Well, but that's the thing. It's obviously like a professionally done cast. So this is a no-budget movie. Have you ever taken your dog to the vet, let alone taking your dog to a vet to get its leg reset and cast? Like, that's got to be probably more than the entire budget of the fucking movie.
Oh, probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And to make it pink. They even chose a pink cast. I don't think that was just one of the effects. It's like, nobody would ever think that about Michael Bay. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe they should.
Know why he came up.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should. He's an asshole.
I mean,
I bet I can almost guarantee.
Nobody ever thinks about Nobody ever says that about Harvey Weinstein, you know? Like,
I see Michael Bay just like snorting coke off a stripper's ass in his backyard, and with with cars set to explode just for shits and
more
giggles.
explosions.
I was gonna
More
say,
explosions.
Oh!
I was gonna say with Bumblebee fucking him up the ass at the same time, and Bumblebee crying just one single tear, and the radio coming on be like some sad song.
I just wanted to be in a movie.
Okay, this is not to belittle any person who has ever been like stuck on the casting couch. We are merely suggesting the Bumblebee may have been on the casting couch.
And may or may have not fucked Michael Bay at one point in time. We're just saying.
I think the Bumblebee fucked Harvey Weinstein, did not get the part, and Michael Bay took him in.
I don't know. That's a good
Thinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. How did we get here? I don't remember.
We got here because we're talking about Feeders 2. Now,
Sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells.
Because the Polonias
Hey,
have more talent than Michael Bay does with all of his coke and explosions.
Yes.
Amen.
For fucking sure. And can I say, so this is the first Polonia Brothers movie that we've done. I told Mark that we were doing this, but I'm like, hey, we'll get you on, like, eventually, but we're just going to talk about this. But every time I watch a Polonia Brothers movie, or I watch like a commentary and like Mark's Restored, or like he's done what you've done for other movies that he's done for his own. Like, hey, I just found this shit that we did, we were like 15. Like, so John passed away, like over a decade ago.
Sadly, yeah.
And very sad.
Big
But like,
loss.
how beautiful is it though that we still have him because of these movies? And like, I know it doesn't make up for the fact that like he doesn't have his brother, or like, any of that stuff. But like,
have you guys seen that
like,
memorial? The memorial video that's on the...
No.
It's on that new Splatter Farm edition they put out on that Monster Man disc. And there's a memorial to John Polonia. And I dare you to watch that and not cry. I mean, me and my lady, she's not a huge Polonia Brothers fan. And we were both there pretty much sobbing, I mean, it was... And John was so great. I mean, and I'm just so glad that Mark is still going.
What are we rating this film?
Who's going to go first?
Hold on.
Oh, we need scale.
Tony needs to describe the scale because, well, that didn't happen for you guys in the last episode.
That's true.
Okay, so scale is 0 is turkey, horrible. 1 is bad, 2 is fair, 3 is good, 4 is great, 5 is amazing, excellent, the best ever.
I will take and say that this one was a 4. The padding for me was was hit or miss a little bit at times, but just the overall wholesomeness and fun of this, especially with Santa, just elevated this up to something I can see myself watching around Christmas time again, along with Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, which happens to be one of my favorite Christmas movies.
River Bottom Nightmare Band.
Nightmare Band.
Everybody that elevated his score.
Elvis Vaden.
Yeah. I was going more elf.
Elf. Okay, yes. Elf. Oh.
Wow. Okay, my bad joke will be edited out.
Punny.
Tony.
Very punny.
Okay, so I've had the pleasure of watching Feeders 2 about 8 times in the last month, working at Riff Tracks and just watching it for my own leisure as well. And I absolutely love this movie. I give it a 5. This is my favorite SOV horror film. Please show me a better one if there is one. This is my favorite. I love it. It's so fun. I mean, it's like watching, a family have Christmas and there's little alien puppets attacking. And I just love it. I think it's great. It's a good movie. I can't recommend it enough. There is a lot of padding, and I can get how that can bother people. And maybe I'm just accustomed because I watched lots of shot on video movies. I realize there's gonna be padding to get that 70-minute runtime. But I love this one. I say check it out for sure. 5.
Okay, I'm in between. I'm a 4.5. Yeah, because we already said we're gonna do half points.
What?
So, yeah, we said that.
Did we?
We said that last week. So
Sophie!
Yes.
Yeah, and you
Come
totally
on.
said no. And then the episode got conveniently deleted.
That's right. No, okay, so what brings it down just a little for me is I just don't like Christmas, and I can't watch anything that's Christmas related unless it's December. I hate that. I hate that I'm like that. I didn't mind any of the padding because it was either misplaced and charming, or it was like laughable because you knew that they were putting the padding in. But my God, seeing the little boy kiss his sister's arm when they're looking for Santa, that right there elevated it like so far for me. It was so fun. The little feeders are fun. Loved it.
Awesome.
Okay, dead air. All right, so we had talked about doing a couple other SOV Christmas movies. So what we originally were going to do was Dave, I'm going to say it wrong, Castiglione. Maybe I should say that right. The Ex-Hooker's Christmas Carol, which is from, I think, 1995. He sent me a DVD, and I tried to rip it for you guys, and it was, like, not working, and I found out the DVD was, like, scratched. So he is sending us another copy of it. And so we will have to do that at some point. And I'm a little weird about doing things that are Christmas and not Christmas. I will make an exception for this because he's working hard to get us a copy of it.
Oh, and it looks like a cool movie. I'm excited about checking it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've
And he wrote us a handwritten note with it. Come on.
taken a watch. I watch. I mean, Christmas movies all the time. When it's not Christmas, Die Hard, Gremlins. You know, come on.
Yeah.
It's totally fun.
Christmas is just the excuse to put them
my
on.
thing.
Good movies are good
I
all
have a
year
thing.
round, though.
Yep.
That is true. That is true. So, we neglected to mention that Tony is getting married at the beginning of February. Yes?
Da, da,
Yep.
da, 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 da.
Put
Ball
on the
and
shackles
chain.
Ah.
No, I'm so excited. Yeah, me and my lady have been together for 10 years, so it's long overdue.
Wonderful. So happy for
That
you
is
guys.
wonderful. So
Thank
what are
you.
you guys doing for the holidays?
You
Aside
know what?
from just scraping up cash for your honeymoon.
Yeah, because we're getting married this year, we're not buying Christmas gifts. We did an ornament exchange, which was a lot of fun. I got her a Harry Potter Hermione ornament, and she got me a chainsaw ornament. So those are on our tree, and we'll probably just have a nice dinner, relax, probably watch Elves and Elf. That's kind of our yearly tradition. I like Elves, she likes Elf. So we'll watch those two movies and torture each other.
Torture each other, right.
Sorry.
So, Slade, what are you and your lovely bride, Samantha, doing for Christmas? Which, thank you very much. They sent me a couple of wonderful movies, Sledgehammer and Blood Lake, so I can watch
Nice.
the pervy, weird, inappropriate little blonde brat over and
Little
over and
Tony.
over.
I got my sex partner.
My beer, I got my sex partner, I got all I
Sex
need.
partner.
Okay, I'm gonna say something, guys. This you can judge me all you want, but like when I watched that, like that kid, he always had like the Varney shirt and stuff on or whatever. Like that was kind of like the guy that I used to like do when I was really young in Martinsville, Indiana. Okay. Skinny little blonde guy. We go
Hopefully
out in the
older than
cornfield.
that.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like, I would have been drawn to little punk. He reminds me of a guy that I actually dated.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on. Sam and Slade, what are you doing? No, I'm not kidding.
We are.
Jim Wessler.
We're going to take and drive about 5 hours and have Christmas with my family and her family and exchange gifts and do. It's fairly standard Christmas, you know. Except this year we're having pizza instead of some of the normal stuff on Christmas
my God.
Eve. So I'm totally about that because I hate Americana food. So it's just like, I don't like turkey. I don't like all that's like just normal stuff you get at, Applebee's and stuff like that. I don't know. I just like ethnic food. I'm weird.
No, okay, so this is one of those things we did maybe like a couple years ago when Little Caesars did pizza, so this has been, tells you how long it's been. We got pizza one year because like we were just like, you know what? Why do we all like spend our time and our money? Let's just get pizza. And we haven't done it since. And like now I got the text like while we were on this podcast of like, okay, so what's everybody bringing? Blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to say that like, let's just get pizza. Seriously, let's just get pizza. Like, who has a problem with that? It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, this should be nobody, because if you don't like pizza, I don't think I've encountered anyone that has ever disliked pizza. Maybe one or two.
Right, or breadsticks. You know what? You buy a couple salads with it. You're good.
Yes.
You're good. Everybody's good.
Everybody likes that. Everybody like that.
That's everybody likes it.
We're serving pizza at our wedding. That's what we're doing at our wedding is pizza.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
No, that's great.
We got a Ramones cover band and we're getting pizza.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Are we Are we invited?
Oh, for sure. If you guys can come down to San Diego, you're both invited. I don't have any money.
Let's hop the bus.
Oh,
Rebecca.
hell yeah. That's right. We'll carpool.
We'll get down there and he'll be like, shit, they actually came. Fuck, what do we do?
Yeah.
I know, you guys come down. We're shooting a scene for my next film.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Yeah, I just do stupid stuff with my family that I dread every year. And this year, so my sister's happy because she's usually the black sheep. I'm the black sheep because I started, I quit my job and I am a horror journalist who sells tit pics. So she's like, oh, hell yeah. This year, I'm not the black sheep. So pizza or not, it's going to be a fun time.
At least it'll make for interesting conversation.
Oh, no. See, with my first payout from my OnlyFans, I actually bought a really decent camera. And so that's the only proviso I've been given is that I will be the family photographer. Well,
they don't have any room to say anything then. It's work experience.
Exactly. So, good times. Well, everybody have a great Hanukkah, Christmas, holidays, blah, blah, blah.
Kwanzaa.
Whatever the hell you
Saturnalia.
Whatever the hell you celebrate or don't. Festivus. Whatever you don't celebrate or do celebrate, this is definitely the time of year where things are kind of hard for people, I think, in general. So just, like, keep your head up. Watch some more Polonia Brothers shit, because that'll make you laugh. And we will be back after all this shit is over.
Yep.
Hopefully you enjoy your quote-unquote holidays. If you don't, just know there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep. And just
wow, I am...
Just stay positive. Things will get better. We promise.
Yeah.
They won't.
And 20... Shut the fuck up.
Someone's got to be the pessimist here. Gosh.
Here cut. Just coming in.
They won't, says Tony. In case anybody is wondering.
He means they won't stop you. They won't stop you from getting better.
That's right.
Polonia power.
Polonia power.
That's right. That's right, guys. All right, thanks for listening. Happy holidays and all that
Yeah.
stupid shit.
Thanks.
Merry
Don't
Christmas.
go to Walmart. Don't go to Walmart if you can avoid it.
Yes, please. Jesus. No.
Sophie!
Sophie!
Sophie!